Well, it's simple end of that we've had the conversation. So basically now it comes down to whether or not someone wants to propose a poll. If someone wants to propose that we have a poll, then they can speak up and do so, and then we'll take a vote on whether or not we want to go forward with it, or whether we want to go forward with it. So,
can I ask a question?
And not answering questions, sorry.
About the poll.
Go on.
So my query just is, I read the Local Government Act. It appeared to me that we could have a vote at this meeting, and if that vote, then the other side wasn't happy with it, they could then request a poll. So my suggestion, well, I was wondering whether it's possible to have a vote at this meeting, and then, we can see whether then that's what it seems to suggest to me in the Local Government Act. I don't know what you're thinking of.
Basically, if it comes down to it, but someone needs to propose, if someone feels strongly enough that they want a poll, they have to propose it. If it's proposed, we then have a vote on it. If 10 people say that they vote for a poll, then we go ahead with the poll. That's the simplicity of it. So I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you. No. What I'm asking, as was at the beginning, does anybody wish to propose that we go ahead with the poll?
Well, I think there's a question first. There's another solution. There's another solution is to have a vote here.
Yeah, can we have an informal?
Yeah, and then if people aren't happy. So the question is, do we build a fence or not?
What's the alternative to the poll?
Yeah, that's it.
If we vote to not have a poll, is there another solution to work together to move forward? Or is it?
The purpose of the parish meeting is really simply to discuss the issue. If somebody wants to propose a vote on a question, then that's possible. And one part of that is if someone wants to propose a parish poll or not.
Can I make a point of order? At a parish meeting, residents on the electoral roll can vote on any subject of the meeting.
Yes, they can. They can. Yeah.
I would
the only thing that we can actually take forward is whether officially is whether we want a poll or not. That's the one that goes forward to Cheshire East. If you want to vote on anything else, you can propose it, by all means.
Okay, so can we have a vote on for and against the fence?
Yeah. Nobody wants to waste £2,500, do we, on a poll if it's unnecessary?
Let's have one now.
Mr. Chairman, would it not be better to ask if anybody wants to propose that we don't go to a poll? Would that be better? That's the thing.
The thing is with that, it doesn't matter, because if 10 people in here want a poll, then we have to go for a poll. It doesn't matter if we could have 300 people in here. If 290 said no and 10 said yes, we would still have to go for a poll.
Except there would be an easy solution for the Parish Council to just step back from their proposal.
There's an election in May.
It's not our proposal. It's not our proposal to have a poll, is it? This is what you've brought.
From the proposal.
You're actually implying that by telling people they can't have a straw poll now.
No, we've not said that. We said you can.
Yeah.
You can have a straw poll.
Yeah, we've not said you can.
Somebody puts the question, then we'll have a.
I thought I just did.
Yes, you did.
Okay. So can we please have a vote?
Right.
People for and people against the fence.
So is it easy to ask people voting for a fence first?
Sorry.
But that might be the simpler solution.
Are we actually voting right now to say whether we want a fence or we don't want a fence?
No, this is an informal vote.
This is an informal vote simply of this meeting. So it has no status in terms of what the Parish Council might do or anything else. It's simply a vote of the meeting.
It's a vote. It's a vote. Excuse me. It's a vote of representing the number of people that are in this meeting at this moment in time.
Can I just say there are two different things being discussed? One is the poll and one is an informal vote.
Okay.
Yeah. At the moment, what we're talking about at the moment is the informal vote.
It's just an informal vote.
We're not talking about the poll. That's it. If someone.
So all those in favour.
Hang on. No. what we're getting to. Right, Ewan, you've got a proposal.
Indeed.
Yeah, go on.
So we have a vote by show of hands of people for and then people against the fence.
Okay, thank you.
But you do
You have to have an abstain as well.
You've got 600 odd residents and a room restricted to 40 people. It's hardly a vote.
It's representative of the people who are in this room. That's the important.
It's a big enough statistical
Right,
sample.
so what we'll do then is we've had that proposal, we'll go with that. So what I'd like you to do, and I need this to be clear, do you want to, we both can, I'd like you to put the exact wording is, do you want a fence? Those for and those, how do you want me to word this so we know exactly what we're voting on?
So I think the vote
What's the
should be-
proposal?
My proposal would be a vote of those people who agree with the proposal to build a fence and those people who are against the proposal to build a fence.
Right, okay. So should we take the agreed that can those people who agree with the proposal to build a fence put their hands up? Put their bits of blue paper in the air, please. Who agree to the idea of a fence, proposed fence? Start again.
I think there is also the opportunity to abstain as well from a vote, which so that would be a third count as well.
So those now put their hands in the air, those who do not want a fence. You'll have to keep it in the air for a long time.
I think we've got more than 10.
That's a different thing.
Sorry, if you've not registered, you can't vote, unfortunately.
I'm a resident.
I know, but we closed that point at that point. I understand that, but we've had. I know. I'm not trying to be awkward. It's just that we've agreed this, so do understand that.
I've got that too. 42. 42.
Is there anyone who wants to say that they're abstaining as well? Right, so that's the votes representing the people in here tonight. Now the only option we've got now is to see whether anybody would want to go for a poll. You can't have, there's no decision in any way, shape or form that can be made in terms of the council because, this isn't a parish council meeting. So what I have to ask you now is the simple, does anybody wish to propose
Yes,
a poll?
I propose a poll.
One at a time, please.
I would like to propose it, but I'd hope that the Parish Council will take it back and understand the feelings of the village and maybe don't have to waste the money on it. But yeah, Andy thought.
So hang on. So we've got one proposal for the poll.
parish poll.
For a parish poll. Have we got a seconder, please?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask one question about the poll?
Go on.
We keep saying this poll might cost £1,500 to £2,500. Is there any reason why local people can't raise some money to pay for that poll if one of the concerns is the cost of the poll?
I don't think that's right. I think
we have to use parish money. Right, so, excuse me please, Right, we have a proposer and a seconder for this. So, it's been proposed, so I'm going to ask, basically, it's simple, and I'll repeat this, if 10 people vote for the poll, then we go forward with the poll. If less than 10 vote for it, we don't. If 10 people vote for the poll we then need, or you need to decide the question that will go forward to Cheshire East. So what I'm going to ask for is people who would like to vote for the poll, can you please put your hand up?
Can I first ask a question about this?
Could I ask, is there definitely no alternative to a poll? Like no consideration or no wider... Now there's clearly so much, discussion in the village that maybe people weren't there at the meetings, things like that. Is there now no other way of moving forward other than a poll?
Well, I mean, all I could suggest is that obviously the Parish Council members here tonight, they've heard what everybody has said. They know also what other people have said in private, as it were, walking around the village and all the rest of it, and the emails we've had. And the Parish Council will take those comments into account when it proceeds. At the moment, the Parish Council's decision is that to erect the fence.
Can I ask a question on that? We've just had a vote, which everybody had notice of this meeting. People have come. We're entitled to take a vote at the meeting. It says that we are. I can accept one way or the other. It's not binding. But how come your decision to build the fence is binding when it's very clear at this meeting? So it should really be you asking for a poll, because this meeting has found, from the people who were invited, who's chosen to come, that we shouldn't be building a fence. And consequently, it should be the other way around. It should be you. You're the ones that are forcing us to a poll.
No, we're not.
I thought the Parish Council works on behalf of people.
We can I just say my piece, please? We cannot, as a parish council, make a decision tonight because we are not. This is not a parish council meeting. The question and the reason for this meeting was brought up was to decide whether or not we wanted a poll. Now, we've got to that stage where I've asked the question. We've had a proposer, we've had someone who seconded it. So we are now. Excuse me. Can I? I've been polite enough.
Conditional poll.
Excuse me. I've been polite enough to listen to you. Please be polite enough to listen to other people. No, I've not finished. So the poll has been proposed. So the next stage is to take a vote to see whether or not there are enough people who wish to have the poll taken forward. The ramifications are...
Why the Parish Council will not listen and work on behalf of the village? You've been elected members and you will still not listen to the residents of the village. I don't understand it. I don't understand how you can breach a 106 agreement. I don't understand how you put a permissive path in front of Jacob's Way, which you have to give 14 days notice to close, and yet you've still carried on with it. I don't understand all of those things. You have to give 14 days notice legally to close a permissive path, which happened in 2017, unbeknownst to most people in this village, actually. So I don't know how that actually got through, but there's a permissive path in place in front of Jacob's Way, and you cannot close it unless you give 14 days notice.
Right, thank you. What we cannot do is answer any questions.
So you can't just close it. You can't just close it every single weekend.
Thank you. What we can't do is answer any questions during this meeting. We said this at the start. So we now have, as I said, I'm going back to this simple fact. We've had a proposer, we've had a seconder. You were asked the question about what the original purpose of this meeting was.
You can't legally do it. You cannot legally build this fence.
We've moved on from that. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? Excuse me. This gentleman over here has said he's seen the weight of feeling in this room tonight. It's very, very obvious how people feel. I'm confused why you are ignoring it. You're saying we're going ahead with this. What's the rush?
And you're all up for re-election in May.
Excuse me. Why are you pushing this forward? Why don't you listen to the weight of opinion in this room and say, okay, we need to take a step back. We don't need to rush into this. Let's, go again. Get a meeting together, get a consultation and move forward. What is this arrogance for you guys to move forward and just say, we're doing it, we're moving ahead with this? Where does this come from? You're not listening to the weight of opinion. It's bizarre.
Actually, I'll tell you where this is coming from. This is coming from 3.5 years of opinion. 3.5 years of trying to deal with it. We've given it now. I've given you one answer. Now, I am now asking for the vote. If you wish the poll to go ahead, please put your hands up.
You're going to waste £2,500 then. Just do £2,500.
Wasting our money again.
Don't be asking for an extra preset.
Yeah, forget it.
Do a poll, but don't pay £2,500 for it.
60 grand in the pot.
85,000. You're laughing, but they don't need to laugh and smile. You just wasted £2,500.
£85,000 in the bank. I still don't understand how you can build a fence and in May we can pull it down because you will not be getting on the Parish Council again.
No.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Right, so what I would like to know is what would you like to ask?
Could I just ask one question? I just want to pick up on something that Ian said, that you've taken into account the 40-odd people that are in here. However, how many people were in the meeting when you said, yes, we'll go ahead with the fence? That wasn't the whole village. That must have been a small proportion of the villagers. And that Ian said, we can't take into account because there's not enough people in the room now. It doesn't represent the whole village. However, you could when you went ahead with the fence.
The issue is that the Parish Council is elected by the community to make decisions on the community's behalf.
Excuse me. You've asked a question. If the answer is coming from the clerk,
the Parish Council can't carry out a referendum on every decision it makes, and so as it goes from year to year to year, it has to make its decisions. All the parish councils are residents, they know the issues, they talk to people in the village, they're aware of them, they know the problems because we have to deal with the problems, and their duty is to make decisions on that basis. And that's what they've got.
I wasn't asked, I'm sure nobody in this room was asked.
As I say, the council
can't have a fence built on the opinions of the 6 or 7 on the parish council.
Yes, because they were elected to make those decisions.
7 people.
Yeah, the parish council.
To build a fence, even though the whole village don't want it.
It's not the whole village who don't want it. But yes, the parish council.
75%
The parish council has what it's elected to do.
I need to move on. No, we need to move on. No, we need to move on. I would like.
Somebody suggested that.
I would like, if it's to do with the question. Right, yeah. What's the question? Thank you.
So my suggestion is that we make the question conditional, that we want a poll on the condition that, I don't know, in a time, for example, unless the parish council chooses to withdraw it by a certain time, so that it gives the parish council a chance to decide whether they want to withdraw it. If they don't withdraw it within a certain time, then the poll goes into. So that's my suggestion. I'll give it to someone else for exact wording. So ask for a poll based on the thing that on date X, the parish council still wants to proceed with the fence. So I don't know how long you need to discuss it. 7 days.
You suggested these guys time to reflect on their decision.
Yeah. But that we need to make a decision at this meeting whether we go for a poll or not. So give them 7 days to discuss whether they want to withdraw it. If they don't, that's when the poll goes into effect. I don't know what other people think. That's just a suggestion. Save us some money.
Right, can we have one voice, please? No. Thank you.
Can I just check how many people actually voted for the poll in the end?
I counted 30.
So you had enough. That's what I was just, because I don't think that's all big. I'm not sure where we're up to, but there's a lot of...
Same as when you brought us the signatures to hold this meeting. We now have the mandate and the poll has to go through. So we've had that vote.
Sorry, can I just ask for a little bit extra information? Can we get the results of both votes, on the vote and the...
Yeah, I thought they were fairly clear. The vote on the for or against the fence.
Yeah.
The votes who agree with the proposal of the fence were 9. And those against were 42. At the moment, the number in favour of a parish poll, are 30 at the moment, but we've not decided the question to be posed if there is to be.
So we need a proposal for the question, please.
Can I just clarify? So part of the issue is that you need to, as a parish, meet together and then...
No. Once there's 10 have voted, if 10 or more voted,
10 votes, but someone was just proposing that there was a certain time limit. Because we recognise from what you were saying that you can't do anything about the first informal vote that the people had.
That's right.
Because you needed to discuss that as a council, was that correct?
Parish Council.
Yes. So when is the next meeting due that you are due to discuss that? And could that then be timed in with this deadline that the lady suggested there? Is there any way that that could happen so that you're not then wasting money?
Or even if the parish council or even if
I think it's right when somebody said big attraction here is it's free. There's nowhere else free to travel. You're going into commercialisation going nowhere. This is what it's been like for 3 years. The Parish Council is getting together I mean, in lots of ways it could change the idea of them being
just had a chat. What we've had to do is we have to go through a process, and we've gone through that process, and which was brought by Ewan, and we've had the meeting, and the object of the meeting is to come up and decide whether or not we want to have a poll. So obviously the vote has been that we want a poll. Now, we cannot take a conditional question. It's just not feasible.
That's fine.
Not able to do that. So the option, obviously, we have to bring this up at the parish meeting, which will be Parish Council meeting next week.
Next year.
So we'll discuss it then. Now there's a couple of options to go forward here. We can discuss it, and we can discuss what we want to do in light of this. But I'd like to make it quite clear that whilst you have, 42. I've been contacted by 10 people who've all apologised who actually can't make the meeting tonight, but are for the fence. Now, excuse me. If you wish me to continue, excuse me.
Yeah.
You know, please be polite enough to let me finish where I'm going with this. Right, so, you're representative of the people that are in this room. That's also the people who voted for, and it's also the people who've abstained. So, we have a representative group of 40-odd people